Indeed, indeed.
Thank you.
Just on that note, black groups, Africans, do we really, really, really understand what holidays are we celebrating? Because we need to start there. There is Valentine from Feb. It's Valentine. Do you know what happened in Valentine on that day? Do you know where that comes from? But still, we're celebrating that. You don't know. You don't even have a history of what is it called, of this Christmas. Where does it come from? What are you celebrating? You've been told that it is Jesus Christ's birthday. And then so what? And really, that is something that you need to question yourself, to say, who is this person in my life, and what role does he play in my life? Do you also celebrate your great grandfather's Christmas? I mean birthday, when they are gone in over decades. They are gone. Do you guys celebrate that? So you need to start questioning all these holidays. That's number one. When you are doing your own introspection, that is one thing that you need to look into. What am I celebrating? This day they are saying it is what do we call it? There is one that I am missing, which is the Easter holidays. Black Friday. You are the first one to be there. Why are you going there? Why is it called Black Friday? So there are so many ways that you can start to say, you know what? I really, really, really need to look into this. That is what I'm sharing, because Tina sibe bazalwane yo. I'm telling you, like, yeah, to the point whereby you would see yourself in the pulpit. But once you start questioning a whole lot of things, like starting from the holidays, trust me, the truth that you will find after doing your research, I am telling you, you will feel like I do at this point in time. I don't celebrate those days. To me, it's just like any other day. I don't even take the efforts to even go and buy your Christmas clothes and whatnot. You can buy clothes for your kids at any given time. You don't have to wait for this day. What is so special about it? What are you celebrating? Especially Valentino, do you know what really transpired there? What was happening there? So indeed, we really need to do introspection and do our own research. Firstly, with the holidays, because that is the only way that you can actually even kill the economy, the so-called economy, because they know that they will be making money out of us through these Black Fridays, these Valentine's Day, these Christmas days. They know that our African brothers and sisters will be crowded at certain shops, buying and buying and buying groceries and so forth. Start there. From there on, you can go into, what am I buying? What am I wearing? We do have people who are actually, we do have our own clothes. We do have people of our own that are selling clothes. Why don't you go to them? So you'll rather go to Steve Madden than supporting what is this Batu? Really now? No, we really need to wake up. That is the only way that we can empower ourselves and see our worth, and also motivate the young generation that no, it is not a must for us to know. It's not a must for us to fall into this trap. Can we be the generation that changes the narrative of this thing? Our mothers and fathers, they were afraid of the Mzungus. We are not afraid of any Mzungu. We talk. So, this platform, it didn't come by accidental. This platform, it was brought to us by those that are at underground. There's a whole lot of things that are currently happening, not only physically, but spiritually as well. So this is one of the signs that it is time. Yes, our government we don't have one in an actual fact, but what can you do when as an individual? Because of those people have been bought ever since. If you look into it thoroughly, 1994, it is not what we think it is. We are celebrating Freedom Day. We are celebrating. Are you spiritually free? Are you spiritually free? No. So really, we need to look into these holidays. We have our own days. We do have our own New Year that we will celebrate in. Normally, we go to in yes. Normally, we will go there, and instead of really looking into what do we call it, going far as the government and so forth, what are you doing, Wena, from your side? If you are still celebrating those days, if you are still doing the crickets, the fireworks, my brother my sister, there's still a very long way to go for you. You will need to find out why are you doing that. Tulala nama cricket when I was what is the whole, what does it symbolizes? And then you will find that there's also these things of a song of the year. Music has a very, very, very influential when it comes to spirituality. We are just singing along on things that we don't even know exactly. You only find out when you listen to it thoroughly that this is actually, it is telling a story, and that story is not something that I want to, I want to have in my life. Gospel has played a very big role in advertising this Jesus Christ. And therefore, still, we keep on doing it. We keep on, whenever we keep on playing it on loudspeaker. Why don't you play Miriam Makeba on your loudspeaker? Kefia Semenya on loudspeaker. Because those people, they tell a story. They tell that is where you will find the actual history of Africanism, the actual history of where we stand. Because I'm telling you, if you are going to read a book that you find at CNA or whenever, you are going to find a book that is written by the very same Zungu, which it will tell you that what do we call this? What do we call it? Christianity started in Ethiopia. There is no such. Do your own research. There is no such. So start with yourself. Start within yourself. And it is fine to be the only one in the family that gets that becomes awake. Because I am telling you, there are so many things that are really, really, really contributing to this to this colonization. I've mentioned the voting, that it's number one. Number two, we are still amongst ourselves. You are still, we are still, what do we call it? Our own African brothers and sisters by names, this name that I hated so much. When they come this side, we still call them. However, we actually forgotten that South Africa, it is just a village within what do we call it? Within a continent. It is Africa on its own. Africa on its own, it's one. It was separated by the very same people, and they knew that when they separate us like that, it is something that is where they have defeated us. That is where we will fight against each other. That is where we will start to have hatred against each other. I am telling you, everybody's just so convinced that, our brothers in Nigeria, they are doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Who is allowing that? Who is the big man that is actually doing this underground? Who's making it possible? I am telling you, there is no way that you can pass so many borders, so many airports there is somebody that is involved politically.
Inside job.
People. It's an inside job. And unfortunately, we don't see it like that. We are still pointing fingers. And because of hunger, those people will not tell you that, I am actually working for President so and so. Remember, the whole thing, it is about minimizing us as African. And hence why you would find that you will hardly find a Nyaupe boy that is in Izemzungu. Majority of those who are using those drugs, it is our own African children. That is simply because that is part of the plan. It is we give them this, they go and give it to their people, and therefore we stand back. If you think that Mandela is innocent, my brother and my sister, go and do your own research. You will come back and tell me.
Yeah, Sindhu.
Baba.
Your question was really about since akanjani ndaba le Christianity egcwele la eAfrica kanje. And a year since ukuthi
sorry baba, ngicela ukhuluma isilungu because
I'm saying what your question was about how do we address this problem with Christianity, which has actually sort of organized us, spiritually and physically and otherwise. Christianity manifests itself in all spheres of society. Whether you go into the social sectors, you go into education, you go into the economy, Christianity manifests itself there. And therefore, that's what I'm saying. We shouldn't be narrow-minded about it. And so how do we address it? You understand? We should understand it's the broader approach. Black brother quoted to Sankara said, I have a tendency to call this because of this platform. It's a platform I'm on. It pushes me to be true to myself. So brother said that quoted to Sankara about, if you have somebody who does not have consciousness. Even Sankara, how did he actually transform Burkina Faso in 4 years? He was practical. He was a pragmatic. He built a rail with his people without renting people from outside, But he was building rail. He was building a cotton, making their own, clothes now. Understand? Made in Burkina Faso. He was pushing that agenda. That's probably why he was so so it's this whole issue that we must understand. Let me finish, my sister.
I just needed to highlight something just on that note before I forget.
You can note it down. You can note it down because you are disturbing my chain of thought.
Well, brother.
So the concept of a spiderweb doctrine by a Nigerian, it's not something that came somewhere. It's a Nigerian who instructed, who gave us the idea we must push forward the spiderweb doctrine so that we can actually emancipate ourselves. So
hello.
Thinking that
Katona, you wrote this. Are you a Christian? Are you a Muslim? Where are you? So we're talking about how do we get out of Christianity?
Yes. That's my contribution today, Taki.
How do we get out of Christianity? Like straight up.
I said to you, we can't look at it narrow-minded. We cannot look at it as though...
What do you mean narrow-minded?
You know that idea of thinking, Uchi, you must start by yourself and
push narrow-minded?
Yeah, I'll tell you why.
Kanjani?
Because ungangiphikisi ngoba wena you don't believe in what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying, so that then you can critique it afterwards. Yabona? Because whereas I'm laying out my thinking process. You just critique it in jail, because you have some reason to think with me now. Angisazi into some.
No, kanjani?
My brother, I am telling you right now. This platform we discuss, and we ask questions. So if maybe you are reading from somewhere and or maybe you are just mumbling alone, it is a problem because of, remember, you are not the only one here. We need to hear you. We need to question you. We need to take some guidance.
Understand what you are saying.
I come from a
different perspective. It's not a one-man show.
I believe umuntu kumele ayenze submission yakhe simuze ukuthi uthini. Mase yaqedile. Then we can bring it. But while he's talking and then you interject, then you are spoiling his own chain of thought. Yabona? That's my submission. Anyway, it's fine.
Whoa.
It's okay.
How
it's okay,
we don't understand what you are saying, so that's why we are stopping you, Uguti. We don't understand if you're saying, smoking.
Greetings, goddess. How are you, Sentu?
I'm okay, Baba. Long time. How are you doing?
Greetings, panel. How is everyone?
We're fine.
I just want to elaborate off what the young lady was saying, the sister was saying just a few minutes ago. Like, I really, this is one space where I know for a fact that my ancestors drew me to. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that that's what it is. That's what it's supposed to be. I don't see how someone could sit here and subscribe to something, especially coming from the continent of Africa, being there personally, feet on the ground, knowing that life started there some 75,000 plus years ago. Like, how can you believe a story that states in the beginning and it starts 6,000 years ago? That is asinine to me. That doesn't make any sense. How can your story start in the beginning 6,000 years ago when Africa was there, has been there since the conception of time? And African people have been there longer than any other people on the planet. You cannot start a story with in the beginning. It just doesn't make any sense.
Please say that again. Say that again. Say that again.
You cannot start a story that states in the beginning, and your beginning starts 5,000 years ago. The pyramids are older than you were in the beginning.
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, man. It doesn't make sense, guys. The story of Adam and Eve, in the beginning, I think I made a video and I said in the beginning that they're talking about in the Bible is not our beginning. It's not.
Not
they started 6,000 years ago. Sorry about yes, go ahead.
No, they're describing their beginning, not ours.
I think I made a video about this, that the beginning of the Bible, it is not our beginning. We've been here before the Muzungus. Before guys, let's stop with this nonsense of Christianity started in Ethiopia. Christianity was already here in Africa. Our ancestors were not that dumb to have a religion and to be guided by a religion. They never needed that nonsense.
You say that again. Say that one more time for me. Our ancestors were not that. What? Go say that one more time, please.
They were not that dumb. They never needed a religion. They never needed a book to guide them. So when you're saying, Christianity started in Africa way before, that's nonsense. It was not here. There was no book. They knew what they were doing. But anyways, the beginning of the Christian beginning, guys, it is not our beginning. They have their own beginning Which makes me also think they have their own creator, because their Peninging starts in the Garden of Eden. So when was the Garden of Eden created in the Bible? And where was this creator at when he was creating their own world or their own earth? They said their creator created the earth. So where was the space? He was just floating on the space, and then he created. Just think about it. He created the moon, the sun. A white God creating the sun. A white God create the sun. He was flying. He was flying. He was flying. Like, imagine a white God creating the sun, creating the moon. So when he was creating the earth, where was he? He was floating. Because we were not being told where was he when he was creating this earth. So which means he was floating on the space. And then who created the space? Guys, even the space is a creation. It's not just empty air. It's the fact that there is air, it's created. So who created the space that he was floating at when he was creating this earth? Doesn't make sense. There are other planets, yes. So who created the other planets? Avon?
Yes. Why would you then, after creating a planet, you get into an altercation with one of the most powerful beings in your realm? You banish the being away from your realm and then put your most prized possessions in the realm with the being that you just banished. That is the dumbest shit in the world.
My problem with that being, my brother smoking, is that that being look like me. That being can sing like me. That being, he had diamonds, silver, gold, all these beautiful rocks like me, like the continent of Africa. So what are you saying to me?
That is, I believe that these that these stories are so fabricated and so watered down. I wouldn't believe anything that came from that book. I honestly, I'm glad for spaces like this where I get to listen to people not other than myself, brothers and sisters other than myself that don't subscribe to these type of teachings. Like, that is completely idiocy, and our ancestors wouldn't respect that.
They said in the Bible, Satan, it's that he loved precious stones, but there's something that connects Lucifer and beautiful stones like gold, diamond, and all that. And then they said he could sing. Aibo. So now, Satan, when you listen to, say, the story when they describe Lucifer, Lucifer looks exactly like a black person, or Africa, for that matter. Something is not right about this Satan. And guys, please don't forget, we started the hashtag Justice for Satan. Yeah, those who don't know, there's a hashtag Justice for Satan. We don't know what he did. We feel like he was wrongly accused, just like any black man anyway, you know. So, yeah. User, you're on a break. Can we go to KCY MP? New guest. Aibo, when you guest, kanti wena wenza njani kanti vena? Oh, user.
Okay, here is the microphone. Hello, everyone.
Oh, Babu Duma, I forgot. Babu Duma, are you there?
No, yes, I'm here, man.
Okay, do I give Babu Duma my chance first?
Yes, he came first, Babu.
Okay, no problem.
Babu Duma, how are you?
I'm good, madam. How are you?
I'm fine, Baba. The biggest question here. Angizo, Baba.
Oh, okay, madam. You can go first.
No, the biggest question here, Babu Duma, is how we Africans ended up worshipping the god of our enemies. What happened?
That's a difficult question to say because I know all my. But let me try to explain that according to our belief, that we believe God is one. And I know that this God, this creator in question, he doesn't have any problem of naming him. Actually, he gave us, we human beings, to name all the things that you are seeing, Inkomo, Ingosha, whatever it is. He gave the responsibility to name it. And he doesn't have a problem of naming him. Umvelinaki, Uala, Umudimu, Umuzimu, whatever it is, he doesn't have any problem of us calling him by that name. I know the problem came with the Europeans to emphasize that God favors them, of which they were wrong. And I just want to make a point that, guys, those white people, they are still going to come. Their country, sooner or later, is going to go in flames. They are going to come in numbers in our country. And I was listening interestingly to the point that how are we going to deal with them? Because we need to prepare ourselves. They will be coming with the very same superior mentality. Because their countries, they are going to go in flames soon, and there's no place to run the continent to run to unless it's Africa. I know that all of them, they are fighting, and they are fighting to be superior again in Africa. So.
Sorry, Baba, which people are we talking about that will be coming to Africa?
The Mzungus are coming to Africa in numbers. Their countries soon, there will be ashes there. In their countries,
no, they will find us very ready, Baba. Don't stress.
Yeah, we need to prepare ourselves. They must find us ready. They must not lie to us. But then I know that the question that my lady have just asked me, that I've got a problem in answering that, because knowing who am I dealing with. Because me on myself, I believe God is one. He doesn't care whom do you call him. Actually, he doesn't.
Sorry, Babu Tum, excuse me, you're saying the Muzungus are coming here in numbers, and remember, you are worshipping the God of the Muzungu. So how are we going to go with you in war now? Because you are loyal to the God of your enemies, Pela. You believe in Jesus Christ. You believe in this Allah, in this whatever. What do they call this God? So you know there's a problem. The Muzungus are coming, and you want us to fight the Muzungu. How are we going to fight with you? How are we going to go to war with you? Because when you are loyal to their God, and when you don't want anything to do with your own God, we need to analyze you first, and then we can.
No, educate me then. Who's our God? Because I think God is one. Because God doesn't have a name. When he was asked, "Who are you?" he said, "I am what I am." Then the people start calling him Ramasedi.
Who called him? Who asked him? Who asked him?
We don't have a God, Babduma. We don't have.
He said, "I am what I am."
But the names you are mentioning does not have the same meaning as this fabricated God. Those names are just names of our ancestors. There's nothing to do with God or gods. Those are just concepts of colonization.
No, you are missing the point. But if you can listen to Sint, will tell you that our God is very far.
But we understand. You are the one that doesn't understand. When we say those names, we understand that we are speaking about the principles and the laws of nature and the universe, because everything has laws. It's not this thing that is conscious of itself, that is full of jealous and just wants to revenge and can't forgive people until there is blood that is spilled. We don't have those concepts.
I don't. Excuse me, brother. I don't understand. Like I grew up in the United States. I've read every
African American history book there is to read. If you could not believe the brutality that people were exposed to over here. They fed our children to alligators. They used them they called them alligator bait. These same Christians that brought that religion, brought the ideology to feed our children to fucking alligators. And you sitting up here going to combat for them. It's insane.
Are you telling me there is no God as well? Do you say there is no God?
I'm telling you this, that if it has anything to do with the concept of what's inscribed in that book or what any European brought to you, then no, it does not exist whatsoever. And if it does exist, it's completely evil.
You are saying God doesn't exist.
It's witchcraft. They are drinking the blood of the sun. It's witchcraft.
No, I mean,
We don't drink any blood of and it's not to say that we don't have Umvelikala. First and foremost, we have Okhulukomkhulu, which the name was butchered by the very same people. Umkhulukomkhulu, meaning, I don't even know how to explain it, but
Ancestor of our ancestors.
Umkhulu, exactly, my brother. And then we have Umvelikala, which is butchered as well. They call them Umvelingangi because they couldn't pronounce Umvelikala. So there's just a lot of learnings that needs to be done before. That is why it's very important to start within yourself.
Babu Tuma.
You have somebody called me Dali.
Babu Tuma.
Umvelikala.
Babu Tuma. Umvelikala is not your God. Umvelikala is the deity. He is not the creator. So manje umbuzo wami, you hear this my brother from America. Please guys, if I miss mama, mute, yes, thank you. So brother smoking here, he's talking about the same God winner that you are following today. The question of the debate today, or whatever the topic is, how did we ended up worshipping the God of our enemies? These people, they came here, we didn't know this God, this Jehovah, this Elohim, whatever you want to call this biblical, whatever God, we didn't have this thing. So after everything happened to us and they put us through so much pain in the name of this God, then we came back and we worship the same God. How and why? Why are we still there even today?
I know here it's because the brutality was so long and extended, so it trickled down from generation to generation. We were not allowed to learn to read. You were not allowed to learn to read, and anyone who did learn to read, being black, the only thing that you were allowed to read from was the Christian slave Bible. So this is what was, again, if you were going to learn how to read in English, this is the very first thing that we were allowed to read. So again, to go with the brutality of not being able to be literate, the only thing that we are allowed to learn to read is this Christian slave Bible, and then we instill it in our, so that we went through less oppression with the people that we were dealing with. And then we did it, and it trickled down from generation to generation to generation. Now it's the new generations, that the young kids that are starting to break free. It's just hard.
And then what happened to Africans then? Africans, why are you still worshiping the God of your enemies? Because you are in the continent. It's not like you are somewhere. You are in the continent, and the evidence of African spirituality is there.
every day, every night is right in front of you. So what is the excuse that you are still that you are still following? And please, guys, let's not come with the Ethiopian nonsense. Let's not come with the Ethiopian nonsense. We've been there, we've done that. It doesn't exist. Religion, the Islam, whatever, Muslim religion and the Christianity didn't originate here. So my question is, how come that you as an African, you are still following the God, or you are still praising the God that unalived millions and millions of your ancestors just for fun? Just for fun. Ufunani lapha? Anyways, yes, Casey. Oh yes. You want to answer? Yeah, Baba.
Yeah, Madam Speaker, let me answer. Let me question Smoking Joe. Smoking Joe, you cannot think think in that way about the Africans, that we never know how to read and write. That is why we were wrong.
No, brother, you misunderstood. I said that the African Americans were not allowed to learn to read or write anything other than the Christian Bible. So again, what the sister is saying is that so for 400 years we were brutalized into teaching our children this thing, and she kind of understands why we are in the predicament we are today. But she's saying to you that you being feet on the ground there in Africa, being bounded to your roots, how can you not feel the connection to your own roots?
Okay, now I got you. Madam Speaker, I will just say in 2 seconds that we never, God never killed anybody, but people use the name of God to kill us. Those Europeans use the name of God to kill us. And they made as if God is in favor of them by doing the wrong things on us. God never killed anyone. They kill us. They rape us. They do all things, sort of wrong things unto us. And those people that are liars, they were not sent by God, but they are doing that out of their evil hearts. Those Europeans.
Sorry, man, I don't know if you understanding here. They came and they find you with your own ways. Let's stop with this God. They came here and you had your own ways. You had your own ways. Your own ways, medicine, everything. It was all African, pure, Bantu inspired by your spirituality, and there was no God, there was no Allah, there was no religion. It was just you and you and you and you. You never looked for greatness outside yourself. You were not taught anything. This creator connected with you. Ngobuwena. In your entirely, it was you. They came with their own God. Then they told you that this thing that you are following of your ancestors and this and this and this, it's wrong. From today onwards, you need to change and do things their way. While you changed them, you accepted it, but they colonized you, they enslaved you. Today you are weak, you are useless, you are nothing. You don't own nothing. You don't even own your own spirituality. You are a beggar. You even beg for a God. My question is, why don't you return back to the ways of your ancestors?
Okay, let me agree with you.
Can I come in, guys?
This way. I agree that we need to go back. Usually, but it was African science.
That
was an African science. What we are using today.
Can I give you an example, Baba, which I've already put.
All right. Sanbonan. Thokozani.
Nawe Casey, awufuna ukuthi sihlise umoya.
Eish, yazi.
Uyabona sikwatile nawe busy.
No, it's because I've been listening. Thokozani. It's just that I've been listening to everyone. First of all, when we Zulu Baba before Apuma Ati, we should go back. Maybe people, African people, people of our forefathers, don't understand how much damage has been done to us, and they don't understand the extent it went. Because even if you can put the truth here in front of someone, they will never see it with their naked eyes, because once you colonize the mind of a person, the physical sight means nothing. And unfortunately, the truth that we are talking about is in the physical sight of things, meaning you've got to read it to know it. And you've got to give it attention so that you can process it with your mind. You don't have the mind, first of all, to process it, because you were colonized mentally. You lost, if we can explain this and unpack it well for people to understand how much our identity has been, deleted, if I may say, from us as black people. People don't understand how much damage has been done to us, because if you tame the mind of a person and if you win them in their minds, you've done everything. You have won, because first of all, if people say we should go back, where do we go back to if you don't understand first who you are? Because if you go back to something, you will need to understand first your own identity. And your own identity is your roots. That's what your identity is in this case. And when the white people came in our land and in our lives and in our space, they made sure that they delete our identity. What is our identity? Our true Africanism, our roots, where we come from as a race, as a people, as a nation, and as human beings. And as the first people who were created on this earth, because that's the proven fact. So once we don't understand and don't align with the facts of who we are, we have nowhere to go back to, because we don't understand ourselves. And that is why a lot of people are taking this commonly so when we talk about such issues, because they think when you pray and go to your knees and pray and that's it, your life goes on, it's because the submission of misidentity has been cemented in people's minds. That's the first thing. And once we understand that we are more than what we how can I put it? We are more than what we pray for, in a way, because first of all, you've got to understand that they can colonize us as they have done with our forefathers. And apartheid now is in another level in our country. Yes, we live in what we call constitutionally freedom, but this is not freedom. The slavery has changed hands or colors, but it's still the same. It's just that people are subconsciously not aware of some of them, if I may say. So they can colonize you, they can take away your identity, they can do all of those kind of things. But there is this one thing that they haven't done to us. They can't colonize, and they couldn't colonize our dreams. And that is where you will find our identity. It is stored right there, your spirituality. Because in your dreams, you will dream of your forefathers. You will dream of your real self. You will dream of your real identity as a black person. You are not going to dream about some guy from I don't know, with a white robe and white wings and so on and so forth, and it is called an angel. No. Your true identity lies within your dreams. And if you always want to recognize or acknowledge who you are or know who you are, always refer to your dreams, because they could not colonize our dreams. They may have colonized everything else. Because if you colonize someone's mind, but you can't colonize their dreams, dreams are very powerful. They are very powerful. We stand here as African children and spiritual people, some of us. We deal with these things every day. We deal with helping people every day. We understand the depth that has been done in people's lives. They have lost amasiko wabo, their tradition, because they have lost themselves. And today, some of them are suffering because of such things that were not followed by even their forefathers. And it takes a lot to correct some of these things, in real life, because we are missing the most important part. Not to take light the life we live, the situation we find ourselves. Today, we are black, but some of us are black in the skin, but abanye abantu sebashintshile ngathi ngabelungu in the outside part of things. You want to sound like a white person. You want to live like a white person. You want to talk like a white person. People don't understand how important with it. And people think that they are safe from hell if they continue forgetting their true identity, and then they think they will experience heaven. What if you get in heaven and you find people who have been, with their identity right intact in their lives, and you don't even know your own identity, and you get there, people are they themselves, and when you don't even know yourself. Because if heaven is there, then whoever is in heaven knows who they are. Because the very same Bible can count from A to Z when it comes to a lineage, identity, and so forth, and so on and so forth. Why then you throw away yourself in the process? Do we really understand that even if we die tomorrow, our own children, we inherit the same nonsense that we have inherited, of not understanding who we are and calling our own forefathers, people who have given birth to us, demons? Do you understand that they will continue in that manner, and there won't be any saving grace for them? If we don't, what needs to happen right now for us as black people? A lot of studying has to happen. A lot of knowing where we come from, who we are, our true identity. A lot of awareness needs to be created across communities, and across provinces, across the country, across all areas, to help our people to understand who we are. Because if we don't understand who we are, how can we understand even the riches that we have? Do you know that there are some people who are we have been hard done by the Dutch people, by the white people, by the colonization of our ancestors. They did not only colonize them physically and take our minerals, but also mentally. And that's where the problem is. Therefore, your dreams will always channel you and help you to understand who you are, because you will never dream of an angel you've never seen in your home, in your house, in your family. You will always dream of the people that you know. And all of these dreams always have a way to direct you and tell you of things that you should do, and also create certain awareness. That is where you should also tap into. And some people, when they dream Africanism and dream of their own identity, they wake up and say, in the name of Jesus Christ, demon, get the fuck out of me. Because they don't know who they are. And that's where we should go. With these three things that I've just counted, I think that that is where we need to go to. And I'm so happy and grateful the fact that I see in TikTok a lot of African people are creating such awarenesses, and they are creating such a hype about who we are. And the more people understand even a little of who we are, the colonizers become scared. They have sleepless nights. Because once we understand who we are, they are in shit. They are going to be in shit because they understand that if you want to defeat the majority, which is the black people, colonize their minds, then you will be able to control them. You know that there is a place in Cape Town where black Africans or South Africans were put if they could not.
The dark rooms, they call it the dark rooms.
Thank you.
In the Cape
The home of good
yeah.
hope.
Thank
Yes.
you. There, yes. Do you know there's a place like that in South Africa and people don't know? Our people don't know that people were put in that dark room where you can't even see a single finger. You will be put there and starved to death if you don't confess Jesus as your Lord. This thing was forced into people's lives. It was forced into our lives. And whatever that has been forced to you, it becomes so natural to a way that you don't even see any problem about it. And then subconsciously you start believing in it, and you start believing it, and you start calling yourself it. Forgetting your own. Nobody even forced a single white person of their own identity. Dutch people still celebrate their Dutch Day. Those who are still wearing skirts,
Scottish skirts.
exactly. They're still practicing that. That's their identity. They tell you your identity is evil, but yet they continue practicing their own. And if you are a spiritual person like me, you can't help somebody. Let me explain this. If you go for consultation, even if it's a pastor, for an example, if you don't understand your true spiritual identity, even if I can dish up the most important help for you that can save your life, it's not going to work. Why am I saying that? Because you are not aligned with yourself. You are not aligned with yourself. You go and go for consultation, you come back, or you get there, the person tells you, okay, this is what needs to be done, this is the problem here, and so on. You won't understand, first of all, and you won't align yourself and your consciousness with what the person is saying because you don't know who you are. Consult for you, you first need to understand who you are. First need to understand. In fact, you need to bring your physical body and your spiritual self. But subconsciously and physically so in the physical life, you are doing it for your own children. Because we don't even understand the land we are standing in. We don't even understand what is a home. What makes a house a home? The values that we instill in our children don't really represent us as Africans, and we are happy about it. When your child can't even say their clan names, you clap hands that my child knows English. Ooh, you are, because we have used Western standards to to gauge ourselves, to say, oh, you are wise or you are not wise. You are intellectual or you are not. We use Western standards, even with beauty.
You are beautiful or you are nerds, but just imagine being pale skinned. You are beautiful.
You are using Western standards to say, to feel beautiful, they've got to look like a white person. For someone to look beautiful, they've got to have a certain kind of hair
that they don't have. For someone to look beautiful, they must go and do skin peeling because you use Western standards to gauge your own beauty and happiness and even your own intellectuality or else your wisdom or your genius. You have to really go to the Western standards to gauge yourself and say, no, I am beautiful, I am wise, I am this and that. Because you can't identify yourself as a beautiful person as an African child. If you speak your own language fluently, you consider yourself dumb or illiterate. If you dress appropriately and also as an African child, you are considered umuntu wasemakhaya, a farm Julia or a farm, a farm boy. Because we always belittle our own identity so that it will look like foolishness in the eyes of men. How do you think you will understand your spiritual problems if you can't align with your own identity in the physical world? First of all, let the mind alone. All of those things that I'm trying to say here is that people should take time. Black people are lazy, not all of them. Please get me right. A lot of our African children are lazy to sit down and read and study. I'm not talking about studying for university degree, but just to read. We can read the Bible from A up to Z, from Genesis to Revelation, but we fail to read to understand who we are actually. What is your melanin, the importance of your melanin? Why your eyes are like this? Do you understand that the eyes that white people have, we had them? They took that from us. It's our own genes. Do you understand this kind of things? Why our hair is like this? Do you understand why you are able to stand on the sun without you having to have any problem that the same white person can have when you're standing on the sun? Do you understand why you are physically strong? Do you understand that why a lot of diseases are also used as an attack to us, but also they fail because of our melanin and also the way we are strong? Do you really understand the certain fundamentals and things that make us who we are and the reason why exactly why people hate us? Do you understand why? People don't read.
My brother Casey.
Yes.
On that one, Putwam, like, I don't wanna lie. I wouldn't encourage people to go and read books. These books were written by the Mzungus.
Not books.
The best thing that you can do a research about yourself. We still have our elders who can tell us the truth as to who we are. And then from there on, I always say that your clan name, it has a lot of history within it. We spoke about it even yesterday. You would know what to eat and what not to eat. You would know who you are and how you relate to that type of an animal or that type of an element, be it water, the air, and the sun, and so forth. You would know if you dig deeper into your clan name. You would know to even how to talk to your own ancestors. Others, they would prefer the Mzungu alcohol. Others, they will just prefer rooibos. Others will just prefer just plain water. So we need to not to learn from any book, but to do a research about who we are. Because of, if I have to tell you now, as to out of everybody that has joined, I am telling you, we will find those who will tell you that I'm just making an example. I am Rose. I grew up in Soweto and so forth. Who are you? You get what I'm saying? Who are you? Which is something that we need to start from. You will never know who you are if you are going to buy a book at exclusive books or any.
No. Not a book from such places. We do have our indigenous, but in Umqulu Wolwazi. It is written in Zulu sometimes in Xhosa, sometimes in Sepedi, where they explain our surnames, how they came about.
Yes, indeed.
Exactly. You take that information. You know, Guti Mabeti Shaga, Bakulumanga, Mabeti Mukwena,
Bakwena, Babakwena, what do they mean? When they
What
say
do they mean?
what is a Dlamini? Why do they say Dlamini?
Where do you get the book?
You get it from Elo Kuzan. You go, each and every province has a place where indigenous information is stored. You go there.
Oh, for for love and love. Let's see that.
Yes, then you go there. They give you access.
It's sort of like a what is it called? Tourism something. They've made it like that, but we call it Nkosi.
There is no Mzungu hand there.
No, it's not.
I'm talking about in terms of publications and writing, like if we buy it, supporting
If
any
you look
Mzungu.
into it, if you look into
I don't
it,
understand. You
sister
guys don't
culture.
understand.
Let me tell you. So, like for an example, with Credo Mutwa's books, you will find the original one. You will find one that is edited, and the original one you will find it in such places. It's not even a museum because
Your network, Ndlovukazi, your network.
the royalty of that clan, for an example. You will find if you are, maybe for an example, you are like Mina as Umtombeni, I know that I need to go to Ekosini for everything that I need to know. That is how I know as okay. Basically, we are from we migrated from Zimbabwe, East Africa, and so forth. This is where we landed, and who is our queen, and so forth. So those are the type of things that normally they would get it from. Definitely not. They are definitely not diluted. Those books are not diluted. It's from our own.
Oh, okay. Nkola we have Ifanda Mess here, our new guest, and then no Umafikile. So we will start with Ifanda Mess, Mama. How did it happen that we worship the God of our enemies?
Greetings to my people on the other side of the world. That happened because, as they explained, some of the speakers said before, forced, brutal forced. Nice, that's why we followed, Christianity. But I was a Christian myself, and I had an experience, and it changed the way how I think since then to now. If we as African, and I consider myself an African, even though I water down on, I say because we're on this side of the world and so much mingling, nice, so we're not as full African as, but I consider myself an African. As the African people born in Africa and have access to all this information. Now, I cannot understand why some Africans still, who born in Africa, you have all that information, all that's now with the spiritual elders that you could go to get information and know how to live. If you actually sit down and you think about what they tell us about ourselves, how could we accept that? How could we accept every single thing about you is negativity? And then they come now and they tell us, God is a just God and he make everybody equal. But yet, you're telling me that on one hand, insulting your intellect, and then telling you, nice, our ancestors were demanded, there was this, there was that, there was the other. Nice, but what their ancestors did, they are blessed with. And the descendants of the ancestors who they say were bad and demonic and whatnot are cursed and suffering up to today. Nice? For fighting for us. For fighting for us to come back to ourselves. because the information that you all have access to the truth, nice, it is around still, nice, how it was able to survive all these years, right? And then you have to ask yourself, why are the churches emptying, not only in Africa, but all over the world? So we can see something is wrong, drastically wrong. Now, they talk about us and our ancestors, or we study, you know, ancestors, this and the ancestors. If you're honoring your ancestors is not just your grandmother and your great-grandmother and your great-great-grandmother. It goes straight back up, and it goes straight back to source. And if you're saying God is source, that, I mean, we are descendants of him too, according to what African people believe. So then what are they really saying? The same source, straight back up from the first person who created you, and that's the creator, your creator. So I can't understand what is the big, you know, confusion or the conflicts, or why people still holding on to that. Because how people could belittle you so they're telling you one thing and they're doing one thing, a different thing. And we accept that. Can't understand that. So that is why I could relate to what you guys saying. And I thank God for the privilege to be listening to you guys, because my mind and your mind on the same plane. I thank God for this life. Sincerely continue doing a good job. And I think after you all people eyes were open. If it can open, I sure plenty people eyes open. Once I have the privilege to come and actually listen and you know, hear what you guys say. I thank the Almighty, I thank the ancestors, whoever it
Thank you
is.
so much, Mama. Yeah, that was very profound, to be quite honest. You just reminded me of something as to who is the source. And I have just posted here on the chat as well that so the source of your creation is nature, and therefore nature is you. And if you do not respect any element of nature or appreciate any element of nature, you are actually lost, because of we get the energy from the sun. How to rise your vibrations? You will not vibrate at the level of someone who's actually sitting indoors in big buildings and doesn't even get to see the sun or even touch a tree. So you will vibrate, your vibrations will not be on the same level. So to show that you are actually nature, you would see how you actually connect. And I always advise people to meditate, get fresh air, no matter where you are. People tend to also make an excuse that I'm in the urban areas and therefore I cannot plant anything. Come on, you have your own room. Plant a flower, something that would actually, that you will connect you with nature. Water is something that connects you with nature. I'm not talking about the tap water that has already been
Polluted.
polluted with a whole lot of things, which is supposed to be killing us. We are already woke. We know what is happening with the South African water. Not that water. I'm talking about the water whereby you'd actually even just take a walk. You will find rivers. You can breathe the air. And that is when you would know there is just so much that we can do with the little that we have by just starting with our very own. I was sharing with Abosintu last night that my kids, when they come back from school, they go to school. Yes, they learn the history that has been taught at school of your Jan van Riebeeck and so forth. But when they come into this house, we have another history classes, because of I don't want them to be misled by anybody. I want them to be misled because they've chosen to be misled. I don't want them, because of once you know the truth, and somebody comes and tell you that what you are saying is a lie, you have so much power to actually state your points. But if you know nothing and the only thing you know it is from the
Correct.
streets, you will be all over the place and you wouldn't know who you are.
That's what our grandmothers used to do in Ndlovukazi. You know, as much as the colonizers, Ifanda Mess, Mama, and everyone in the chat, as much as they tried to wipe out our history and everything, we will go to school, we will learn all the nonsense they were teaching us, and we will make sure that we pass, you know, we'll cram it, we call it cramming it here in Africa. I don't know how you call it there. But when we get home, our grandmothers will sit us down and teach us about our true history and our true roots. That is why, especially here in South Africa, it's very big, you know, where our parents will just pretend to be Christians. And then at night, they are Africans, pure Africans. We are practicing African spirituality. We're doing everything. And then during the day, they are Christians. And I thank them so much because what they did, we didn't get lost. You know, we compared to some African countries where you find that it is bad, like the Christianity, the region there is bad. You know, here it's here, but not that much.
My
Sit, make the fire, and sit there and
Hey, the
talk
fire.
about that it
Yeah,
is
but
warm. And you can still make that even if when you are in wherever you are. You know, it's so easy to actually channel the mind of the child. In isiZulu, we are saying "Ligotshwa lisesemncane," which means that when the child is still young, they actually, it's the right pick to actually channel them, right? So we know that, okay, yeah, than when they are old. So in most cases, you can still initiate that within, whether your mother did it, whether your family it wasn't being done, you can still do it. You can still be the first one to do it within the family. Just take the heater, whatever it is that you guys are using. It's winter now in South Africa. Take the heater, put it in one of the rooms. Everybody will go to that room, and therefore everybody will eat in that room. And then from there on, it is about, you know, history. We talk. Do you guys know why we have this and this and this and this? And there are so many questions. These kids have so many questions. You'll be surprised because they will be asking you, so Mama, who invented 1, 2, 3? In this book, it says it was so and so. And we know that very well that no, it wasn't invented by these Mzungus. It was invented by our own, and our own were killed so that somebody can take the credit. So they learn the actual history at home. When they go back to school, they know that all of this is just like reading a book of Benny and Betty, Macbeth, and they know.
I want to say one thing you said about, get in touch with Nitya. I'm a retiree, by the way. You all are young people teaching me. I started making a garden, working land, after I retired. And being in touch with Nitya, when you're working, you feel so different. And not only that, I say, when you get into the land, you're getting food, nice? You're getting exercise, nice? It make you drink more water. It make you take more sun. When people paying to go in a gym, take out weeds from a bed. Not that difficult, no. Still need improvement. I still need improvement, but not that difficult. So doing that is so important. Not only it feeds you for your whole overall health, and then you eat better too because you know what the plant has. You know nobody put no chemical or no plant and give you eating. So I think African people should, get connected with the land again. And we don't have to wait for somebody to because to give you a job, because you could plant and you could sell the excess and make money. So I think they're not doing that. I mean, I feel so good, so good. Yeah. I mind chicken when you go outside and see about chicken is the fresh air you get in, the little sunlight. You feel different. And next thing I start doing is going on the beach early in the morning, take a swim. When you get back home, oh my God, you feel so, I don't know how to explain it. Yeah.
No, that's very true. That is very true. We are so connected to nature in a lot of different ways, because here in South Africa, West part is that even our surnames, you know, it's all about nature and animals mostly, you know. Ndlovu is an animal. We talk of an elephant. You know, there's a lot of examples. Mukwena, you know, it's an animal. Some of the surnames, you know, refer to trees and so on. One thing for sure, our spirits are connected to nature. And if you're an African child, you don't dream of nature, then you must know you are kaput and finished, because really, you know, that's what you are connected
to. One question. When you dream you are like in the forest, what does that really mean?
When you dream what?
Like you are in a forest.
First of all, you check around the background of the forest. How is it? Is it a green forest?
Green forest. Green forest.
Yes, green forest. Greener pastures in most cases.
Yeah, blessings.
Yes, blessings and greener pastures and so on. So all of these kind of things talk to us. These kind of dreams speak to us, and also they